Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to HiFive Friday. Today is April 14th, 2023. My name is Jeanette Almonte. I'm the Director of Nursing for Oncology. I just kind of wanted to share the highlights. First and foremost, I'm sure that many of you have received the email, and if you have not, then I'm happy to break the news to you. Masking is going to be I guess what will be done per se with masking effective April 24th, 2023. Please note that although we are not required to wear a mask, it is strongly encouraged, as many of you have noticed, and I noticed myself. I have not had the flu for about 3 years, and I contribute that to wearing a mask. Please note that we will require a mask on at some point, especially during the influenza season. Later on through the year. So watch out for those alerts and news. Second, I know that everyone also received the email regarding the crash bed. I want everyone to know that this doesn't mean that our patient who is crashing is going to go into an abyss or disappear. We have protocols in place. It will require us some critical thinking if we have to move beds around. Please know that we are part of the hospital. We're not a standalone hospital, cancer hospital. We're part of the Johns Hopkins Hospital, and there's resources available to us that we need to tap into. One of that being Lifeline, our other ICUs, our other departments who have beds available. So while it may require some critical thinking and maneuvering around, please know that there are resources in place to assist us. The next is the SHINE conference. If you haven't registered to sign up already, please do so. It's this Monday, April the 17th. After registering, you can visit the online lobby, and it'll help you search the event sessions. You can see if there's going to be in-person events, and you can attend to those, or virtual events. They're going to have breakout sessions. And I think it's a great way to connect with other people at the hospital. You can also earn 8 credits for attending this, 8 NCPD credits for attending this. So it's a great opportunity to meet your fellow nurses from other departments and kind of see what the in-career experts are doing elsewhere. And my absolute favorite time is moments of gratitude and letting everyone know how hard they're working and how it's acknowledged not only by us, but definitely by our patients. So we have 2 Daisy Award nominees. One of them, actually both of them, are from 5C, so go 5C. And there's also a letter that I'm going to read that's also for the team in 5C. This one is specifically for the Daisy Award nominee. This one is for Julia Liu. My father was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that spread to the liver in October of 2019. After an ablation in December, my father was admitted back to the hospital, where we were told he did not have much time left with us. During an absolutely devastating and unexpected time, Julia came in and made us all forget, even if it was just for a few minutes, that we were facing a terminal illness. She made an effort from the beginning to make a connection with my dad and to keep him laughing. Her and my dad shared the same sense of humor, and each and every interaction brought a smile to his face. As a heartbroken daughter, I can't tell you how much comfort it brought me to know that a complete stranger cared so much about taking care of my dad. Julia's attentiveness and compassion for my father is something I will never forget. So Julia, thank you so much for going above and beyond. Sometimes it's those simple smiles and those simple things that we do for patients that means a lot more. And the next one is for Zach Abudu in 5C. Following my dad's bone marrow transplant, Zach was not only an exceptional nurse and caregiver for him, but also a friend. He was my dad's favorite nurse, which is why I'm so glad that Zach could spend my dad's last moments with him. He went above and beyond, not just for my dad, but for all of us. You will always be so important to me and my family, Zach. Thank you for everything. Zach, thank you so much for your commitment and your dedication and going above and beyond. Greatly appreciate it. And I also wanted to read the email from a family who the 5C team took care of. And just for sake of privacy, I'm gonna I mentioned the patient's name. We're gonna call him Bob. So Bob's nighttime nurses, who I never got to meet, every tech who did anything to help Bob, Dr. Paul, Rachel, Dr. Shura, Mike, Daniel, Sienna, Ethan, Emily, Maggie, Cassidy, Carrie, Dr. Berlinger, Dr. Wilmer, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything you did for Bob, our kids, and me. And I'm going to name some of the team members here. Corey, you're an angel in human form, and my kids and I can never say enough wonderful things about you. Your kindness and skillfulness meant everything to my family. We adore you and will absolutely never forget you. Zach, your warmth, humor, and candor were exactly what we needed on so many days. I will never forget the conversation we had on April 1st and how much I appreciated all you said. I will be grateful that you were Bob's nurse as he passed. There was a reason for that, and you're a blessing to my entire family, and we love you. Maddie, you were his nurse for the first couple of scary days, and your sweetness towards Bob alleviated so much stress for my kids and me. You also communicated the last things that Bob ever said about me. I'll treasure that in my heart forever and can never thank you enough for replaying that to me. Sarah, I've never met anyone else who had such an inviolable combination of articulateness and empathy. You never missed a single day of updating me, and you communicated medical information to me in such a clear and understandable way. I always felt relieved when I saw you and always felt like you were on my side. Julia, you made me laugh so often and so hard, and it was exactly what I needed. You always gave me a sweet hug on that first terrible morning, just before Bob was admitted to the ICU. And I watched you as you taught a less experienced nurse, and you were unbelievably a kind instructor. Miss Rhonda, you were with me from the first awful day through the morning that Bob passed. You spent so much time listening to me. You're such a caring listener, comforter, and encourager to my kids and me. I asked you if you would attend the family meeting, and you didn't hesitate to say yes. You were there for us for a reason, and we love you. Dr. DeZern, Bob adored you. He always talked about how much he admired you and was thankful that you were his doctor. And he deeply appreciated that you always responded to him so quickly. You were so kind and gentle with me at the family meeting. Thank you for your honesty, your phone call to me, and all that you did for Bob along the way. Diane, you're a listener like no other. I opened up to you in a way that I rarely do with anyone. What a blessing to me. The time was with you. Lauren, your sweet presence was so comforting. I always felt better when I saw you come into Bob's room. You were consistently gentle with him and always explained his breathing situation to me with such kindness. Rosemary, I always enjoyed our talks on the days you cared for Bob so very much. I needed those more than you would ever know. Lavina, you were with Bob the first morning and checked on me days later when you saw me in the waiting room. Thank you so much. Vivian, you helped Bob the first morning when he arrived. You were so kind to him as you talked to him, and you made me laugh even as I was so frightened. Zach, you stopped me in the hallway to ask how Bruce was doing and told me that you've been his nurse during his daily IPOP visits and that you've been thinking about him and my family. I felt so uplifted and encouraged when you did that. Megan, when I almost literally collapsed one day as I was leaving, you physically and emotionally lifted me up. You looked me into my eyes each time you talked to me. You earnestly and sincerely told me to give grace to myself. I'll do the best to take your advice. Haley, you were with my family the last night that Bob was in the ICU. You asked me how long he and I had been married and how he proposed to me. Talking about all that to you felt so good, even though I knew it was going to happen soon. Thank you for asking those questions. You always gave us a little heartbeat bottle, which we'll treasure forever. Dr. Mario, you talked to my extended family and me in the waiting room early that last morning of Bob's earthly life. I'll never forget that quiet, dark room and how you gently outlined what was happening with Bob's declining health. I'm so very thankful that you were the one who explained everything to us. Thank you. Katie, you were Bob's nighttime nurse after my kids and I got called back to the hospital early on his ICU stay when it was unsure if he would make it through the night. Thank you for taking such wonderful care, thank you for taking such wonderful and loving care of him. Naja, thank you for being there for my family from the very beginning to the very end. Corey, you so kindly talked to my son Ian and me and so wonderfully took care of Bob. Thank you. Jill, you gave the best compliment ever to my daughter Erin, which meant so much to her and to me. Each one of you and so many more who I don't know took such loving care of him and gave us more time with him. We're eternally grateful. Many blessings to each and every one of you. And I think this is a true testament of how those little things go so far and beyond. Thank you guys for all of your dedicated work. I say this all the time. It takes a village. It takes a village to take care of one patient. It takes a village to take care of 20 patients. It takes a village to take care of 100 patients. And none of us can do it individually, but together we can do it. So thank you guys for being human. Thank you guys for showing so much empathy. Thank you guys for being who you are. Thank you for being oncology nurses. Have a great weekend.